Good morning, Bucknutters. It is Tuesday, May 22nd, 2018. I'm Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and change. If it's Tuesday, you know it's gray in the Gem City, and Duane Long is here. Duane, how are you this morning, my brother?
I'm doing well. Trying to keep my puppies out of my hair right now. That's become a chore, but it's a fun chore.
I covet the puppies. It's always good to have a little spunk in the house. Here's what I don't covet. News that one of my favorites in the class is going elsewhere. Yes, I knew it was coming. But anybody who has listened to this podcast knows how Duane and I feel about Brandon Smith, the defensive end from Mineral, Virginia. His tape reminded me of when I used to watch Jordan Hicks on tape, for those of you who have been here for a while. I was trying to think about a player we've lost out on that bummed me out more than this. And I guess it's a good sign for Ohio State recruiting. I really couldn't come up with one in recent times. Can you talk about what we're losing in Brandon Smith? You did a long view over the weekend. He was your number 2 wish list guy behind Zach Harrison, who was templated in at number 1, obviously. Let's talk about Brandon Smith first, and then maybe what Penn State is doing on the recruiting trail. First, Brandon Smith, this is a big loss, especially if you consider he's going to be playing against us.
Yeah, it's a double. You know, first you're losing out on one of the real unique players in this class, because this kid, when you watch his film, I mean, he goes after people like they owe him money or something. I mean, he's all over the field. He's a sideline-to-sideline defender, and he goes at it with the attitude, I am going to hurt you. And that's what he does. I've seen him chase the players from sideline to sideline. I watched one play. He's 50 yards down the field running like his life depends on it, trying to catch a guy. He's just a unique athlete. I don't care if he stays a linebacker. He's probably going to be too big. He's probably going to grow into a defensive end. But what a bookend he would be to Harrison if we had gotten him. So, losing him anyway, that's bad enough. But to lose him to Penn State, that makes it that much worse, as we're going to have to be on the receiving end of what this guy's going to deliver. He's one of those guys that you just say if he misses, if he's not the player that a great player, it's because he didn't work hard enough, he was involved with off-the-field stuff, or he got hurt. It's just all he's got to do is come in and put his nose to the grindstone, and he's going to be a millionaire here in a few years. He's just too much talent. So, yeah, that was a big one, Dan. We really didn't want to lose that kid. And another thing you hate that he did leave the state. And that's always the thing that gets under my skin is if the kid's going to leave the state to play football, come to Ohio State. So it was just a very disappointing announcement.
Yeah, Chris Spielman is famous. Every time I hear Chris Spielman talk about tackling, his main thing is you aim for behind the ball carrier and go through them. Brandon Smith is literally, if you look up in a dictionary definition of Spielman's tackle, he goes through dudes. Just an awesome football player, and like you said, it stinks we're going to have to play against him. Penn State got another couple guys, Tyler Rudolph, the safety out of Connecticut, and Devin Ford, the running back out of Virginia. Where is Penn State now in terms of Ohio State's rival in the Big Ten? I mean, I think you could make a very strong argument that the number 2 on the field and off the field as a recruiting challenge.
Oh, I absolutely. Really? In the grand context of things, right now Penn State is a bigger rival than Michigan because they're competitive. They're competitive Think about this, Dan. How many players are we in a fight for with Michigan? How many recruits? I mean, can you fill out one hand? Whereas with Penn State, you can fill out two hands. We're fighting with them tooth and nail. I mean, even for Harrison here in the state. I mean, right around the corner from Ohio State. We're in a dogfight for this kid. So, and playing them on the field, Penn State is just our rival right now. Let's be honest about it. There will never be anything like Ohio State, Michigan. I mean, except for right now, it's just not that competitive. Penn State, it is. Yeah, that's who we're fighting with over recruits and on the football field.
And I'll finish with this. The one thing Ohio State has over everyone else in the conference right now is the NFL pipeline. But if you look at the most recent combine, Penn State did awesome. They did not mess around. There were guys who definitely improved their stock there. So it's time to give Franklin some credit. If we haven't already, he's done an amazing job there. I mean, you can bring it all back to that field goal, and it seems like they've taken off since then. Had that not happened, would he even still be the coach there? That's one of the great questions. But they've done a good job, and they are definitely now square in the crosshairs for the Buckeyes. So one player Penn State does not have a good shot at getting is Faatui Tuitele, one of the top defensive tackles in the class from Honolulu, St. Louis, released his top 5 of Bama, Clemson, Texas, Washington, and Ohio State. Not such a surprising top 5 in general. Interesting, though, that USC is not a part of it and had 60% of its crystal ball. Keep in mind, Tuitele comes from a school in Honolulu, St. Louis that has produced a ton of quality football players. Tyson Alu, Owen Kreutz, Jeremiah Masoli, Marcus Mariota, and Tua Tagovailoa, just a few. What is your opinion on Tuitele, and do you feel like we've got a real shot at this kid?
Well, after he announced that top 5, yeah, I think we got a shot because he's got Clemson, Alabama. I mean, he's not staying on the West Coast, and like you said, it's huge that this kid left USC off because we just assumed, okay, he's going to take some visits, that he'll go back to USC. That's what's going to happen. He left them off. So that to me means we got a shot, and the kid is he's phenomenal. Big, wide-bodied defensive tackle. He's got great feet. He uses his hands very well already. And so many young defensive linemen, they just don't have that down yet. And he does. Plays hard every down. He's everything you want. He is absolutely elite. He's a 5-star, and, we need to work hard to get him. Getting these elite bigs is huge. It really means everything. Being able to, I firmly believe that you win championships with defensive line and quarterback. And we're doing just fine with the quarterback part of it, and we're doing better with the defensive line. I mean, who's got more elite defensive ends in their roster right now in Ohio State? I mean, you throw in Alabama, you throw in Clemson, and then you start looking for who else even belongs in the conversation. And now we're getting the tackles. Got really a deep tackle class right now. I mean, I'm very impressed with what we've got, and looks like we got a shot at adding to it with this kid. I mean, think about it.
Go ahead.
We've got the kid down in Cincinnati, Jawan Briggs, who we're not really recruiting that hard. And that used to be that a kid like that, just a few years ago, a kid of that caliber here in the state, we were going to go after him hard. Well, not really. We're not. So, and then we're going all the way to Hawaii to get one of the 2 or 3 best defensive tackles in the class. So we're doing real well, Dan. It's good to hear that this kid narrowed his top 5, and we're in it, and USC is not. That's a good thing.
Let me ask you a question. At the same time in their growth, who's better, Tuitele or Tommy Togai?
I would say the Togai. I'd question his level of competition versus this kid from Hawaii who's playing at an elite school. So I'd give him the edge. Yeah,
makes sense. Speaking of playing at an elite school and what sounds like good news, Bill Bankgreen put up a story yesterday about Jordan Battle, the St. Thomas Aquinas safety out of Fort Lauderdale. His prediction is that Jordan, I think, will end up at Ohio State. He's yet to visit, but he will and sounds excited. Your thoughts on Battle as a safety prospect?
I love him. I'm puzzled by how far down the list of safeties in this class that he is. I mean, it's a good class. It's not a great class. It's good, but he shouldn't be down as low as he is. He hits. He's good on the ball. He's got excellent size. He runs well. Has good instincts. He's got everything you want in a safety. And I would be surprised if we don't get a commitment out of him shortly after his visit. And that'll be a really good addition to the class. I'd like to add a couple of safeties in this class.
No question. And some more good news for Bucknutters. The response to the Longview that Duane put out this weekend was as fervent as ever, and we've made a decision that going forward we will now have the Longview every other week for you on Sunday. Who knows, maybe by the season we'll even pick it up from them. So those of you who can't get enough of Duane will be getting some more. So that's considered good news. We hope you enjoyed the show. Have a good one, Bucknutters.